it's important to remember that we all have a lot of feelings, and that's okay. You know, it's good to know what feeling you're having. And if you're feeling sad or worried or confused, that you can talk to someone that you love and trust. And it's good to talk about it.
So many feelings. America's dearest furry red monster got more than he bargained for this week when he innocently asked his online audience, how is everybody doing? The overwhelming response, in short, not great. Maybe it was because it was Monday in January, or that we're living through an overwhelmingly turbulent moment in our shared history. Just think about, we talked about these past 2 hours alone. But responses to Elmo's post, seen 200 million times in 3 days, were crammed to the brim with anxiety, with exhaustion, and depression, prompting an unexpected but welcome discussion on mental health. It was a conversation President Biden joined in on. Quote, I know how hard it is some days to sweep the clouds away and get to the sunnier days. Our friend Elmo is right. We have to be there for each other, offer our help to neighbor in need, and above all else, ask for help when we need it. Even though it's hard, you're never alone. Joining our conversation, former Obama White House policy director and MSNBC medical contributor, Dr. Kavita Patel. Molly is also back with us. Dr. Patel, it is good to see you. You know, nearly 50 million Americans say they experience some degree of mental illness. 90% of the nation believe the nation itself is in a mental health crisis. Take us through the why as you see it.
Yeah, Alicia, it's such an important conversation. So not only do we have this intersection, much like we saw earlier this week with the social media hearings, of having this information 24/7, but as you already covered, we're in not just Middle East crisis, there feels like there's a crisis every day. And the pandemic not only exacerbated the existing crises that we had, but it also revealed a very poor infrastructure for delivering mental health. If you ask for help, you may not be able to get it. And if you have the resources, you may still not be able to get it. So imagine not having insurance in a state where they didn't expand Medicaid. Imagine not having English be your first language and having to ask for help. So I actually take issue with, you can't just ask for help. We need to actually provide it without people asking, because that's like the right thing to do. And that's where we are today. If we don't address this, that's going to define our generations to come, how we treated humanity in this moment.
I'm with you 100% that if you shift the onus to the individual, that actually just complicates the individual's feeling of being alone, of wanting help and not being able to get it. What does that type of reform actually look like, Dr. Patel?
Reform looks like we can no longer just rely on a mental health system. This really needs to be, everybody is thinking about their role and not just mental health, Alicia, but connections. Like, so much of what you saw with Elmo, Big Bird, Cookie Monster, was that they were here for Elmo. We need connections in society. And so what that looks like is whether you're in a workplace, getting back in person to some degree, because it's having these relationships. That's what's going to help give people that fabric. And then from a policy level, we still have a lot more work to do with being able to provide mental health services, not just from qualified mental health professionals, but educators, school nurses, having people who are trained to understand and identify crises, law enforcement. Our number one mental health system is our law enforcement system, and most of them are not trained. It's not part of what they do. So there's policy that needs to be done, and then there's just basics. Don't wait for someone to ask you for help. Everybody who's watching, take this challenge, reach out to somebody and just say, I'm thinking of you. And don't ask, what do you need? Just say, I want to come and show up for you. Let's get together. It's going to be that type of action, community policy, and building that's going to lead to change. Elmo just rubbed something, Alicia, that has been sitting there. It's the tip of the iceberg. And when we look underneath, we have so much work to do. But this is the right time to do it. We owe it to everyone around us to get this to work.
Molly, you were announcing to the crew here that you were staying to talk Elmo, but really you're not staying to talk Elmo. You're staying to talk mental health and the fact that the president of the United States felt the need to weigh in on this.
Yeah, and look, Elmo is a trusted messenger, right? We remember Elmo. He's been around for a really long time, even though he's still 3. I think that there was, there was a feeling here that people can talk to Elmo, as crazy as that is. But I do think we're in this post-pandemic period. We don't talk about it that much, but it's quite destabilizing. And I think there's a reason that our addiction numbers are going up and we have this fentanyl crisis. right? We are, and we're seeing this, with young people and depression and suicide. This is all, the result of this post-pandemic malaise, which is sort of known to happen after a pandemic.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting to me, Dr. Patel, to think about how we often talk about lack of faith in institutions. And we, on this program, tend to have that conversation in the context of democracy and society. But you also see the way it can impact the individual to not have that type of connective tissue, to not believe that the institutions will stand. That is a part of what is happening here.
Yeah, and that's also being reflected in polls. The Gallup polls every year kind of look at like the kind of connectedness and trust we have in society. And over time, even since the pandemic, we've had we're accepting a new normal where we're just not expecting that much out of society, meaning our distress levels are high and that we're not optimistic. People don't have faith that things will get better, whether that's the economy, your ability to get a job, your ability to have a family. I talk to so many young people that say, I don't know, with all the changes with reproductive health, am I going to be able to have a baby when I want a baby or have choices? When you add all of that up, you start to, and then climate change, it does become overwhelming. So the first thing you have to do is to actually just stop and recognize, just like Elmo said, it's okay to be sad, but then you need to do something about it. And I think those of us who work on making the system better, whether it's healthcare, education, jobs, security, that's what we need to do. But again, it's human it's kindness. That's something that came out in those comments with Elmo. People want kindness back again. They want it from their politicians, they want it from their leaders, and they want it from their neighbors, from each other.